Our next teller is Glenn Ray. Glenn Ray is also from Appalachia. He's been a construction laborer and a college instructor, and now is an author and a storyteller. Ladies and gentlemen, the memorable Glenn Ray.
October the 19th, 1972. Coal mine called me about 10 o'clock this morning and said, "You'd like to come in for a physical?" Well, it's 3:30 now. I've just passed my physical. Now I've got to get all the things I need for my first shift as a coal miner. As I enter the company store, I feel like I'm stepping into the 1940s. The company store was a long, narrow building. It kind of looked like an old-time hardware store. Oiled wooden floors. The walls were lined with things that coal miners use. So I purchased the needed items. A pair of steel-toed rubber boots, size 10. Hard hat. Miner's belt. Round aluminum dinner bucket. Long johns, tops and bottoms, beaches. A pair of bib overalls and some other warm clothing. I gathered up my new belongings and headed home, anticipating my first shift as a coal miner. I arrived at the coal mine, parked my car, and walked toward this big blue metal building that filled that little valley. As I crossed the parking lot, I noticed a lone coal miner sitting on his dinner bucket in front of that blue building. As I get closer, I recognize Sam, guy I went to high school with. "Hey Sam, how you doing?" "Well, what the heck are you doing here?" "First day." "Say, who runs this place?" "Well, that would be Head Nears." "Head Nears?" "Yeah, you'll know him when you see him." "Where will I find this Head Nears?" "Well, go through those doors behind me, take a left, go as far as you can, take another left, and in that hallway's the foreman's office. You'll probably find Head Nears there." Well, I follow Sam's instructions and find myself at the doors of the foreman's office. I pull one door open, and I survey a large room lined with a series of 8-foot tables. On the other side of the room, there's two men sitting at one of those tables. Another man standing with his back to me, focusing on a clipboard in his hands. Now, I'm pretty sure this is Head Nears. He kind of looked like a 57 Chevy truck going down the road with both doors open. I walk over to Head Nears and just stand waiting for his attention. "So you want to be a coal miner, huh, boy?" "Yes, sir." About that time, the two men in front of the room get up and walk out. Head Nears picks up a silver, oblong metal canister. "Boy, this here's a self-rescuer. You put that on your belt." I began to feed the belt strap through the self-rescuer when Head Nears points down at his self-rescuer. He said, "Boy, you ever get in a fire, you want to pull this clip right here. When you pull that clip, the bomb's going to drop out. And you want to pull the self-rescuer out of the bottom. Now, if it don't come out of this bin or something, don't you worry, it'll still work. Inside, you're going to find a head strap and a mouthpiece. You put the head strap behind the back of your head, put the mouthpiece in your mouth. Clamp your teeth down on that. Now, you keep that in your mouth till you get outside. Even if it warms up on your lips, you keep that in your mouth. Even if it blisters your lips, you keep that in your mouth. That means there's a lot of carbon monoxide down there. If you take that off, you're going to die in a couple seconds." I'm still staring down his Head Nears canister. He reaches behind himself and flips out the lights. Now, I'm a little startled in the darkness. I decide to take one step away from that stranger, not knowing his intentions. Head Nears turns on his cap light and focuses on the posting wall. "Boy, anybody does this to you, that means they want you to come toward them because they need some help. Anybody does this at you, that means you need to stop right where you are because you're in danger. If you move, you could die." Head Nears flips the lights back on, turns and starts out of the room. "This way, boy, come on, come on." I catch up with Head Nears and fall down the hallway like a little puppy dog. He leads me to the lamp cage where all the cap lights are not in use and on charge in preparation for the next shift. "Give me your belt, boy." Take my belt off, hand it to Head Nears. He hands the lamp man. "Number's 386, name's G. Ray." Head Nears takes a couple steps over these two big boards painted white. On the boards were a series of round brass discs hanging on hooks. Now, boy, this is the inboard, this is the outboard. You come in a shift, you take the check off the outboard, you put it on the inboard. In the shift, you take the check off the inboard, you put it on the outboard. You got that, boy? Now, if you go underground, your check's still on the outboard, we're going to have to bring you all the way back out here to change that check. If you go home and you haven't taken that check off the inboard, we're going to call you up and you have to come all the way back down here and change that check. You got that, boy? Head nears walks back over to the lamp, picks up my belt, hands it to me. I began to put my belt on. I noticed in the back of the belt they had riveted another brass rectangular piece of my Social Security number. What's this? Well, that's so if there's a fire or explosion, people will be able to figure out who you are when they find your body in a couple months. I just realized that this is the fourth time that head nears told me I could die in about 10 minutes. I don't know about you, but I care much about it all. Head nears on the move again. I follow him up this concrete ramp. Coal miners are leaning and squatting against the blue wall on both sides. One man spits a stream of tobacco juice to the center of the ramp. Watch it slowly bring to the bottom. When I get to the top of the ramp, I find myself looking at two big gray metal doors. Boy, this here is Dave Thomas. This is your boss. You do what he tells you. With that, head nears turns and leaves without another word. This is Jim Smith. You follow him. I squat down beside Jim, look over and nod my head. Jim doesn't say, hi, buyer, get out of here. Just, Out of a couple of minutes, those two big gray doors clang open. Dave walks on the elevator and guards the buttons. Jim gets up, stretches his back, and he claims the other front corner. I follow Jim to claim my own corner in the back. Matter of a couple of minutes, about 25 coal miners flood on the elevator, pinning me to the back of the elevator. Dave presses the button. With a jerk, the elevator starts to descend. 280 feet in strata of sandstone, limestone, shale, black coal. Elevator jerks again when it reaches the bottom. Doors open, miners click on their cap lights and disappear in all directions. I'm the last one out, and I can't find Dave or Jim, and I hear, turn your light on, boy, before you knock yourself out. I make my way over to Dave. Don't shine your light in my eyes, boy. It's a good way to get your butt kicked down here. Dave and Jim take off, and I try to catch up with them, but I shine my light on the top, and I stumble over a piece of coal or a piece of stone or wood, and I shine my light on the bottom and hit my head on the top. Seems like a fellow couldn't get around such a place. We walk for 5 minutes, and we walk for 10 minutes, and we walk for 15 minutes, and finally get to the section. I sit down on the wooden bench and bounced. Looked at my watch and realized I just finished my first hour as a coal miner. My first hour turned into 9 years. I became a supervisor. And one of my jobs was to do a fire boss. On a Saturday night midnight shift, I'm down in the mine and I'm going to every production area, checking for methane, checking for air velocity. And one of these sections was called the long wall. Now, the long wall track had been taken up and put down many times. And it's been broken in different places and spliced. And as I kind of rode down that track on my Jeep, I heard this kind of clicking. It almost made a tune. I started humming my tune. And then, you know what? In a matter of a couple more minutes, a verse came to me. That had not happened to me very many times. I stopped that Jeep, set that brake, and I wrote that verse down before I forgot it. So I'm heading on down the track with my tune in my head. And you know when the second verse comes to my head just like that, I stopped that Jeep, set that brake. I wrote that verse down too. I sat there for an hour and wrote a third verse. This is the song. Ain't got no troubles when I am riding down the track. But I've been thinking lately that they might be coming back. Yes, I'm a miner and I am working underground. But it's a living if a better job can't be found. Mining is a life for me, ain't got nowhere to go. But if I strike a rich one day, I'll change my mind, I know. Don't want to be so low. Well, I've been planning for 6 years or maybe more to find a job where I'll be working closer to the door. I know my dreams are far away, but I can see the light. If the Lord is with me, I'll turn to day from night. Mining is life for me, ain't got nowhere to go.
But if I strike it rich one day, I'll change my mind, I know. Don't want to be so low. They say a miner is a man that never can be changed. But I'm a man that thinks that it might be rearranged. One of these days, my name we spoke, it won't be underground. For I'll be working topside, won't never again be down. Mining is a life for me, ain't got nowhere to go. But if I strike it rich one day, I'll change my mind, I know. Don't want to be so low. Thank y'all.